Dear child, the urgency of God's warning and the power of divine messages cannot be overstated. There are moments in life when God, in His infinite wisdom and mercy, sends us warnings. These alerts from heaven are meant to guide us, protect us, and steer us toward the path of righteousness. Sometimes these warnings come through the gentle whisper of the Holy Spirit, while other times they come through the mouths of His prophets, through signs and visions, or through the divine intervention of angels. Today, God has a specific message for you. A tall man is coming, and this event carries great spiritual significance for your life. The Lord has spoken, and you are being urged to listen immediately. This is not something to delay or ignore. It is a divine warning meant to protect you, guide you, and help you prepare for what is to come. The Bible is filled with moments when God sends messengers to warn His people about impending events, guiding them towards safety, wisdom, and obedience. In the book of Amos, we read, "Surely the sovereign Lord does nothing without revealing His plan to His servants, the prophets. Just as God warned Noah about the flood, Lot about the destruction of Sodom, and Joseph about the coming famine, so too is He sending you a clear and urgent message today. You need to prepare your heart and spirit, because the arrival of this tall man will either bring a pivotal blessing or a significant challenge. This message is not meant to instill fear, but to alert you to the spiritual importance of what is about to unfold. As we delve deeper into this message, I encourage you to remain open to the Holy Spirit's guidance, ready to receive wisdom and direction from God. From Genesis to Revelation, God consistently warns His people in advance of significant events. He does this because He loves us and desires to guide us towards safety and blessing. In many cases, these warnings come with specific instructions about how to respond, offering us a way to avoid danger or prepare for an upcoming blessing. Consider the story of Noah. God warned him of the coming flood and instructed him to build an ark. Without this warning, Noah and his family would have perished. But because Noah listened to God, he was able to save his family and future generations. Similarly, in the New Testament, the Apostle Paul received multiple warnings about the dangers he would face in his missionary journeys. In the book of Acts, Paul was warned by the prophet Agabus that he would be bound and handed over to the Gentiles if he went to Jerusalem. Although Paul knew hardship awaited him, he was prepared to face it because he had received God's warning in advance. Warnings from God are not meant to scare us. They are meant to prepare us. They are expressions of His deep love for us, His desire to protect us from harm, and His willingness to guide us through life's most challenging moments. The message you are receiving today about the tall man who is coming follows this biblical tradition. God is giving you insight into something that will soon unfold, and He is inviting you to be ready. When God warns us about a person or event, it is often because that individual or circumstance is tied to a significant moment in our spiritual journey. So, who is this tall man? And why is his arrival so important? In biblical symbolism, height is often associated with authority, power, or prominence. Think of King Saul, who was described as being taller than anyone else in Israel. His height was symbolic of his leadership position, although his heart was not fully aligned with God's will. Similarly, Goliath, the giant who stood against Israel, was tall and powerful, representing a great challenge that had to be overcome through faith in God. The tall man coming into your life may represent one of two things: a challenge or a blessing. He could be a challenge to your faith or obedience, just as Goliath represented an obstacle to the people of Israel. This tall man could be an individual or a situation that tests your faith, obedience, and trust in God. The challenge may come in the form of a difficult person, a spiritual adversary, or a trial that will require you to rely on God more deeply than ever before. Alternatively, the tall man could represent a blessing. He might be a person who will guide you, mentor you, or open doors for you. He could be someone with authority, wisdom, or influence who is sent by God to help you advance in your spiritual journey. This could be a divine connection that leads to new opportunities, spiritual growth, or personal healing. Either way, the presence of this tall man in your life will be significant. His arrival is not coincidental, it is divinely ordained. How you respond to him will determine the outcome of this encounter. God is giving you advance notice because he wants you to be prepared spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Since the arrival of this tall man carries such spiritual significance, it is essential that you prepare yourself in the right way. God has already gone ahead of you, but he is calling you to align your heart and mind with his will so that you are ready for what's coming. Seek God in prayer and fasting. Before significant moments in their lives, many biblical figures sought God through prayer and fasting. Jesus himself fasted for 40 days before beginning his public ministry. Fasting and prayer are powerful tools to align your heart with God's will, to receive divine direction, and to strengthen your spirit. As you prepare for the arrival of this tall man, consider setting aside time to fast and pray, asking God for wisdom and clarity about how to respond.